Well, hello, everybody. Say hi.
Hi.
I'm going to check my speaker. Oh, there, now it's on. Hi. We said hi first time, but I don't know if you heard us. So, Katie, say hi again.
Hi.
All right, everybody. We're come here today, okay, as is customary with us, sometimes, once a week, as well as on Sunday. You never know when. Because we're creatures of spontaneity. At least I am. Mm-hmm. Now, Katie, okay, has been bugging me, all right, for several months to tell me this isn't true. You tell the truth. You've been telling me that I need to, just, this is embarrassing.
Go out and tell everyone you don't have your teeth no more.
Oh, yeah, but I thought they knew that when my teeth fall out.
No.
Okay. We all have imperfections, right? Okay. And she's got to stare at me and make my job even harder. One of my imperfections, I'm going to get on yours. No, it's all right. We'll stick with me for today.
Let's not go there with mine. I don't like mine.
I promise I'll lay off you today, okay? And then you can, sit here and watch me get all blushy in the face because of all of my horrible imperfections. She's doing something weird to my hair, and that's why I'm looking down. Okay, Katie, come on, let's get serious.
Okay.
All right. And look at the people. Okay. I have several imperfections, right? They're not like, the major, big, huge, imperfections that, some people will, be stuck with, having to really, fight hard their whole life to try to get rid of, right? But they're, maybe they're your average imperfections. I don't know. But let's get started. Let's just, okay, what's one, okay, the first thing, we'll tackle the first thing right off. Okay, most people, unless I'm, this is terrible, but I'm going to be honest. Don't look at me so intensely. How are we going to get through this? Okay, Katie, come on. Hey, I don't have teeth. I have dentures. Okay. The reason why, okay, they sometimes flop around, right, is because I cannot use, okay, number one, they're too big for me. Number two, they're broken, and I had to repair them 3 times. Okay. And let's see, what's the next thing? Oh, I have no more, my bottom plate has nowhere to go. I lost the, part of the jawbone. And so, they don't fit properly. But I can't use adhesive, at least on the bottom plate anyway, because there's nothing to adhere to in a certain spot. So, yeah, that's one of my imperfections. Okay. The reason why, all right, I don't have teeth is, let's see, we'll go into, this is boring, huh? Okay.
No, I'm just tired well, actually, I brought down my bed.
Oh, yeah, we'll tell you about that later, guys. We're kind of like moving, okay, it's in the same building because I own the building, but we're moving from one. I have 3 apartments, okay, in my property, and we're moving into the downstairs, right, the basement apartment. So now that I've told everybody, see, I don't publish my address so that we don't have problems, okay, with people, hopefully, don't have problems with people, knocking on the door all kinds of, times of the day or night, That's another thing. I'm very strict with that because I figure if people do want to, to speak with me about something important, they can get in touch with me through email or, so, because we do try to have a private life. But okay, we were going to talk about, Katie, you promised not to stare. Okay. And the other thing is, okay, I really am not perfect, okay, with the teeth issue, but because they're broken, okay, and I can't eat with them, right? So, I don't, right? And obviously I'm not dead, so I'm eating, okay, so I remove them. And let's see, what's another problem with the teeth issue? Because they hurt so bad, I don't use them in public. It's except for when I come on my shows, because it would be awfully embarrassing for me to be sitting here, okay, in the totally complete natural, okay, and toothless wonder. Okay, so I wear them right now. Okay, and that's pretty big. That was probably my biggest thing. The reason why, okay, all of this has happened and I lost my teeth. I lost them when I was really young. I think I was Bobby when he knew me, when we knew each other, I had teeth. Okay, I didn't lose them that young, but that's where it began. All right, before I even had met Bob, I had been hit. Okay, I told you the other day in another video that I had been hit, okay, by rocks while walking in the street. Okay, and they weren't your, little rocks. They were pretty awful things. I don't want to go into the crying scene again. That wasn't meant, I didn't want to do that, but that happened because it hurts. It still hurts. 48 years or whatever it is later, it still hurts emotionally that had happened. Okay, but, we're going to put that aside. Whew, take a deep breath. The reason why is partly because of that. The rocks were very big. They were jagged and they were heavy, and they were like the black rocks, okay, the tar rocks that you get in the street that the roads are created from, okay? And we got a lot of loose rocks on lots of streets, and these kids had flung those at my head, and I got very severely injured. And over the next few years, it caused my teeth to sink, right, to fall out and create massive infections and nasty things like that. And then eventually when I was, I can't remember, 30 or something like that, I had been, the final blow came when I had been, I haven't always been a person to not drink at all. When I was younger, I did not have diabetes. And I only found out I had diabetes when I was in, I think I was in my late 40s. Please don't. Right. That's another one of my imperfections that I'll, we'll talk about that later. I got diabetes when I think I was diagnosed with it after I had almost gone into a coma, when my sugars hit up over 600, 800, I can't remember. Back then, I asked you not to touch it. No. Okay, we'll tell you right now what this one is. But everybody wants to hang up saying, oh, this is a bad lady. Okay, fine, I smoke. Okay?
And it's sad, I do too. Hate to admit.
Everybody in the family will find out. See, when you have a bad habit, it tends to,
rub off on the kids.
Yeah. So, and it's not a good thing to smoke. Okay. I quit for 3 years. All right. But then I went back to it. Okay. Another one of my imperfections. It's hard for people sometimes to smoke for a long, long time. And I had smoked for, from the time I was 11 years old. Okay. Please. We're talking to people. Okay? Let's not. Okay. We're real people. Okay, folks. So this isn't scripted. All right. We just want you folks to get to know us a little bit. And if you don't want to get to know us, you don't have to come. But we care about the people, and there is a point to this. Okay. It's not just because we feel like talking about all of our negative traits. All right. We just want folks to understand that, when you're doing stuff like this, or even, people like Bobby, years ago, when you're in the public eye, all right, people tend to try to put you on this pedestal, all right, and they think of you as somehow better than they are, or more important, or no, everybody is a human being, and everybody does have problems, okay, in one way or another. Some have less than others. I have less than others in some ways. Yeah. I'm not an alcoholic, thank God, and I don't, misjudge persons who are. Right. But, speaking about the drinking, the final blow, okay, that made me have to get rid of my teeth was that I had been in a little club, okay, like a hotel club in Maine, back when I was somewhere around 30, I think. I'm trying to think, 35. Around 30, 35 years old, around there. And I had been there visiting with a friend, okay, who, I was a very close friend, okay, with Tom Day, who was, Tommy Day, okay, the High Tensions, he was a little bit famous. He had his day. He ran, his father was a man, Frank Dross Sr., okay, of New York, I believe it was, and Connecticut, they were from that area. That was involved with, music production. Okay, they made records, right? And his dad got him, on many different labels. Atlantic, Hit Records. They I believe it was them that formed the Hit HITT record label, right? So Tom, he had been, famous. He was a star. Not as big as Bobby, but he was a star. Kind of like a garage band, they got famous. And, I was visiting with him, and Karen, and they worked together. They were calling themselves Airfare at the time. And I was up till late because I was dancing, and, he was playing, and, he was playing out, doing a gig. And, I sometimes sat in with those guys, because I enjoyed it, because I was a singer too. And, I was dancing with this fella, and he had, he was big, he was huge, and I had been drinking just a little too much wine. Yes, I was a wine drinker, and, I sometimes, I used to like a gin here or there, gin and tonic, but here I am, and I'm dancing, and I'm a little bit tipsy. Didn't take me too much to get tipsy because I'm not a big drinker, but, I was a little tipsy, and he had a huge knee, and I, in those days they had the old, flash dance. Does anybody remember flash dance, where they were all over the place, okay, dancing, right? More like gymnastics, right? Well, I was doing that because I was very good at it, right, in those days. And, I was dancing with this fella, and he was huge like a moose, right? And he had a knee about this big. And, but he was all muscle. It didn't matter anyway, except for the fact that if he had a fat on that knee, it probably might not have busted my jaw, but it did, because his knee came up just at the same time that my face, we impacted, just like that. His knee came up, and my head was too low, and it went impact, major accident. My tongue swelled way like 3 times its normal size. I was in the hospital with a broken cheek. It was terrible. And, everything just all worked together until finally I had to have them removed. Right. So, and that's not the reason I don't drink anymore. I used to, like I said, I used to drink a little wine here or there. But it's not worth it when you have to control your sugars. I haven't had a drink, seriously. I haven't even really wanted one because it's not a big issue with me. I don't crave alcohol. I haven't had a drink since 1994, I think it was, because I was out in Los Angeles. Okay, and when I had gone out to try and have a little meeting with Bobby at his house, after notifying him that I was coming, after we had spoken a few times, 2 or 3 times, and that didn't go well, but that's for another show. Anyway, I was sitting in a little bar, a Spanish bar down in Los Angeles, in central Los Angeles. And that was it. I had 2 ounces of a Spanish beer. It was a dark beer. And I said, ooh, this stuff is gross. And I just never picked up another one. Never any more alcohol after that. Not a drop. And before that, I hadn't had a drink. That 2 ounces had been the first 2 ounces of anything I'd had in 2 years, I think it was. 92? No, wait a minute. Yeah, 92. 92. Yeah. And that I had that last drink sitting in the bar that belonged to Tom Day, okay, up in Holton, Maine, which was called the Dance and Eat Club 63 and used to be called the Silver Fox. All right. And because I worked with him, I did work with Tommy. Well, and while we're at it, Tommy has passed away. He did pass away. I don't want to cry over that either, but he was a close friend of mine for a long time, even before I had met Bob. Okay, right around the time I had been hit with the rocks, I met Tommy when I was about 12. But he had been running a club in Manchester for teenagers and young kids, which was called the Cavern on Bridge Street. The Cavern Club had a big Buddha up on the wall. I remember. But I worked with Tom, okay, and there were many things that we did together, and and we'll get into that story of where that all happened, what was going on with that, okay, at some later point. But right now we're talking about my imperfections, which unfortunately I have to complete this video, and then everybody's gonna know all my secrets. Well, at least all those secrets. I do not wear my teeth in public normally. Okay. That's my incognito. I look a lot different, okay, when my teeth are out than when they're in. Okay. And when I put on a face, I look a lot different than I do when when I'm not wearing makeup. But I don't wear makeup in general. Okay. I really don't. Maybe 3 times a year. Okay. And, I just didn't grow up doing that. Right? It wasn't really my thing. I was very much more of a girl to be a tomboy. Right? Can you tell by the tone of my voice? I was just like that. Okay, just a person to go to. You bored?
No.
Excuse me. All right. Okay, good. I'm glad you're not bored. Anyway, I was a tomboy, and I used to like to dance. Okay, and I used to like to sing, and I had a little, when I was a kid, I had a little guitar. Okay, and he had a name, and I've gotten so old I can't remember what his name was, but it was an electric guitar, and I used to do riffs. Right, and we had a little amplifier, And me and my cousin Connie, who was always a few years older than me, we'd do little things like Louis Louis, hello, Ed, baby. We used to do that kind of stuff. And we'd have our little microphone and all that, and that's what we did for fun sometimes. Okay. And I used to write little songs, which one of these days, I get a whole slew of songs that I wrote. So which I could sing to you at some point, I suppose. But my voice isn't the same as it used to be, and it's probably because of the smoking, which really kind of stinks. Right, but that is one of my imperfections, is that I do smoke. Right, and I'm not suggesting that people do it. Yeah, the burn is still there. Another one of my imperfections, I sometimes get absent-minded. And get something stupid like a burn, which never should have been. Let's see, what else? I'm overly emotional.
Yeah.
I woke up this morning crying. Right? Why was I crying? Let's see. Well, she asked me, and I haven't even told anybody yet. Wow, this is a major secret coming out. I gotta watch out. I posted those songs on my birthday, right? The Bobby Sherman songs, right? Okay, Little Woman, and what was the other one? Good Morning, Hey, Mr. Sun. Which I used to sing, down in the lot, waiting for Bobby, to come in, because I knew we were going to see each other, and I'd stand around, and I'd be singing to myself, and I was happy, and thinking about the words and saying, man, I wonder if he, actually has, thoughts like that too. So anyway, last couple of nights, okay, I've woke up from dreams where I've actually been hearing the recordings, and I woke up this morning and I just couldn't take it, and I didn't tell her why, but what happened? You remember what happened this morning? Can you think back that far? That's one of her imperfections. She can't think back to what happened 2 hours ago. Think about it. We were out in the kitchen, and I started
something about food stamps, and then
we were talking about food. Yeah, that's right. We were talking about food and the government, because we're average people, right? Okay, and then what happened?
You started crying.
Yeah. Okay, right. And did you know why?
No.
Okay, all right. What did you say to me? Remember?
No, I do not remember that part.
Okay. Yeah, but I was crying, and she said, Mom, why are you crying? Stop crying. I love you. I'll never abandon you. That's what she said to me. Which was wonderful. So, but she didn't realize it. And now okay, the reason why I was crying, because I was sleeping. And for the last 2 nights since I posted those, since my birthday. And I guess I was remembering the ranch too much, because I was with Bobby, right, on my birthday. That's why. So every time I get a birthday, I remember. I know it just sounds like I'm a nut. Mental case, It's like you're doing crying over something that you remember from when you were 16 or 15. I had just turned 16. Because people are imperfect. We do things like that.
You remember things that happened years back that we forgot before.
Well, I had never forgotten Bob. When I went into the institution, they managed to wipe out just about all my memories. If you know anything about my story, if you go down to the feed, you'll find out. And there are more things, that have to do with that than I've actually told people. But, in basic, but in reality, they wiped out pretty much all my memories. Even after I got home, after I had met Bobby, okay, and I had gone out there 3 times, okay, Hitchhiking. They, the treatments in the hospital did, manage to wipe out my memories for a long time, for years and years. I couldn't even remember having been in the hospital, and I had spent probably a year and a half total in the hospital, right? So, and my memory didn't come back until, sometime in, I think it was early 94, right? When I had seen Bobby in an interview on the Pat Sajak show, right? And my memories started flooding back in, and they were not pleasant memories. But of all the other things and the reasons why I had lost my memory, those memories came back. They started, but I had never entirely, completely lost my memory of Bobby. I always remembered little things, that's the one thing they couldn't wipe out, and so they had given me warnings back when I was turning 18. The probation department of Manchester, New Hampshire, Pat Balloon in particular, who was my probation officer, knew that I had been told by Bobby through Joan, I believe it was Joan Hancock, Los Angeles probation officer, probation department, that Bobby had sent me a message, to go home and be good and to get a job and save my money. And then when I was 18, to return. Right. So the the probation department after I'd gotten out of the hospital took me into their offices, and they knew that I had been dating a fella by the name of Arthur Kitsikis, right? And they informed me that if I did not, that I was being required, and they told me by the court I was being required that I must get married when I turn 18. Whew, there comes the tears again.
Knock it off.
Okay. That I must get married when I turn 18, immediately, or that I would be placed on adult parole and have an adult police record. Okay. And I was forbidden to ever return to Bobby Sherman. Right. And that's true. So anyway, all those years, they went by. I had my little memories. Occasionally I called Ward, when, his manager, Ward Sylvester, you've heard that name. I sometimes say, hi, Ward. Yeah. If you're looking now, and if you can have any memory at all, Ward, I think you're in your 70s, right? I used to call Ward, and we used to talk on the telephone, and he was very nice to me. He'd sometimes yell at me, occasionally, but, by and large, he was a good guy. And, and I'd ask him, how's Bob doing and stuff like that, and, of course, years go by, and we're not going to get into that whole story, but it wasn't the same when I tried to reach him after, kind of having lost a lot of memory over the years, and then having it suddenly return and being able to put things together a little more easily about what had happened to me in the past than, 23 and a half years later in 1994, trying to reach Bobby to ask him questions, and not just Bobby, but other people too, like Rodney Lukens, who I did manage to reach, and he did remember me, and he even sent me a letter verifying certain events that had happened, some of which of the events, created serious injuries, in me. I had been put in the hospital out in Denver, Colorado, because of things that had happened to me there. Not for long, but I had been hospitalized while I was en route to see Bobby. I think it was the second time, right? So there were so many, complicated things. I haven't lived an average, uncomplicated life, even as a teenager. right? But as far as imperfections go, yeah, I got some. Yeah, but the ones the things that I'm proud of, okay, the fact that I have been not taking drugs, and even back when I was a teenager, I was not a person to just take drugs. Okay, I had been uh, things had happened. Okay, where I had been poisoned at the hospital. Okay, through the drugs they were giving me, and the electric shock treatments, and then later on the road. Okay, there was a couple of times when some jerk, okay, had said, okay, here, why wouldn't you, do this, or I was hurt by an injection, or, so those things work together to hurt people, okay? We should never be giving people drugs, never, okay? Not forcefully or otherwise, okay? Drugs are not good for people, not illegal drugs that, create problems for folks. Anyway, I was never a person to be involved in drug taking. I was a person to fight them. I fought the doctors that were trying to give me drugs, and I stick up for that. I think that's a good idea. People should not just take drugs. They shouldn't listen to listen to a psychiatrist and then start taking drugs, because the drugs oftentimes, if not all the time, create dependency, okay, or withdrawal symptoms if you try to not take them. They're addictive, right? And they create more emotional disturbance than, the disturbance that you had. So, why take the drugs? Find a more healthy way, okay, to deal with your problems. I know. I got off the subject. It must be because I don't really want to tell all my secrets. Anyway, okay, what else am I imperfect about?
I don't know.
I yell sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes I get mad, right? I say, leave me alone. Right, okay. But I can't think of anything to yell about right now. Oh, well. When we're doing a show, don't go through my drawer. That's one of her imperfections. So I was going through my drawer, right, looking for things. I got another daughter that likes to, and she does it too, I mean, being diabetic, I take these, I buy bags of candy at the store just in case my sugar goes too low. And I keep them, okay, so that, I'll have something in an emergency, and I go back to it, and I'm like, who ate all my candy? Right? Excuse me. This is, the way it goes, I guess. I can't think of anything else that I'm imperfect about. I can't. I'm being truthful. Okay. Oh, yeah, I can think of one more thing. Like yesterday, I was writing an article, okay, and I published the article, but I didn't have all my facts straight, okay, and so I called my ex-husband, okay, who's Muslim, who was a teacher, okay, and an administrator in Pakistan, in Rawalpindi, Pakistan, Dograda, years, like 10 years, whatever, ago when he was living there. And, he, to get, my information straight in my head, right? I know he had been a school administrator. He had been a person that taught grades K through 10 at a government boys' school, okay, in Rawalpindi, Pakistan. And that he has a master's in Urdu, right? And the issue was, we were talking about in the article, Arabic, okay? Because the schools, the federal government, Obama, okay, over there in Obamaville, the Obama administration apparently is going to mandate or has mandated that there's at least a few schools in Texas, okay, that are going to have to teach Arabic, okay, classes, okay, to young kids, right? Part of becoming better acquainted, okay, in the new global economy, okay, with Saudi Arabia. That's a big, huge global economy. You know, they have Saudi Arabian people that are investing, and, you know, or they've got relations between Saudi Arabia and Texas, probably something to do with oil. I don't know, you know, but they've got this program now where they want the kids, okay, in the schools to learn Arabic so that they can somehow, and culture. Don't stare at me, honey. I'm trying to explain something. Come on.
How long have we been on for?
Oh, we'll only be on 10 more minutes. Okay. I love you too. Cut it out. All right. So anyway, they've got this thing going on in Texas, right? And, you know, it's really kind of upsetting a lot of parents. It would upset me too, because I am under the same impression that a lot of parents are, okay, that you cannot teach Arabic, which is the language of the religion of Islam, okay, and it very seriously is, without teaching the Islamic culture, okay, which is religion, is 100%, you know, ideology of Islam and Sharia law. So when they're saying they're going to teach Arabic, they're actually saying they're going to be teaching Islam in the public schools.
No.
And forcing it on the kids and on the parents, because they haven't got any say if it's mandated, because it's part of the general curriculum. Right? So that kind of ticks me off. And it ticks off a lot of people. Right? And of course, we all know that the Saudis, okay, and the President of the United States, Mr. Obama, supports the Muslim Brotherhood. Mm-hmm. And who is it that, you know, has their hands filthy, dirty, okay, involved with terrorism all around the world? Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's the Muslim Brotherhood. Saudi Arabia, you know, right, okay, you know. And the Saudis, okay, have been actually, you know, it's gone two ways, right? The administration has been giving money, okay, to the Muslim Brotherhood. The Saudis have been paying money, okay, and going into, you know, deals behind, you know, doors, okay, with Obama and this, you know, to get influence in our schools, right? And then the president is talking about a new world order, okay? I do not consider it to be one of my failings, okay, to, you know, that I understand, that I have brains enough to get it, right? That those people that are involved in trying to make Sharia, a Sharia state, a worldwide order, are thickly involved, okay, in what's going on. I don't buy it that it's got anything to do with a European, union to improve, you know, Europe and you know, the United States and France or whatever, okay, or England or, you know. No, it's the Islamic State is trying to stick their stinking, dirty nose, okay, into our government and infiltrate it and spread the Islam everywhere.
Why don't they just keep their noses out of our business?
Because they think they're right.
No.
They think that they're going to actually change the whole world to become a Sharia state.
I'm not going to change my ways just for the good of them. They're nothing.
Well, you know, people are people.
No offense, Papa.
Let's not talk about who we know, okay, who's Islamic and who isn't. Okay, not that, you know, I'm sure that just the thought that we're so angry, okay, would bother them. Another one of our imperfections, I guess, because sometimes the real us comes out in the, yeah. Okay, just because we're real. We don't like to hide things. You know, honesty is the best policy, usually.
Even
But
if it hurts.
yeah. hmm Yeah, even when it hurts. But, anyway, yeah, I don't like what they're doing, and I think they need to butt out, and I don't think we need to have the administration doing any such thing as ordering our schools or, ordering parents that they have to have things that they don't agree with, okay, for their kids. And I think every kid in America, okay, that's put into that situation, their parents ought to opt them out of school, period. And if the schools don't agree and the administration don't like it, I say we do it anyway.
Mm.
Right? Because it's not right. They don't have those kind of rights. We were brought up into a constitution that guarantees our rights. The government, if it becomes tyrannical, we have the right, okay, to say, no, you're going to stop it. And we need to vote those people out that would do this to us. Okay? The people of America that have grown up here, okay, that were born here, all right, whose parents fought in the wars, okay, the Civil War and all those, the Revolutionary War. I have ancestors that come from way back, England, right, and France, okay, and these are not people that would push you, shove you, make you do things, okay, in your public schools by federal law.
Nope.
Mm-mm. No. It's totally wrong, and so, we're against it, and we'll band with everybody else that's against it, right? Because we need to stop those things. We need to get our country back. And that's another thing that Tom believed in. He put out a few videos, okay, back a few years ago when the Tea Party thing was really strong in America, and he became part of it, And, I think that we need more people to really be good old-fashioned grassroots Americans, okay, care about our families and dump the bad administration. It's the worst administration we've seen in years and years and years. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. Okay. Rand Paul. I know he may not be perfect. Okay. Nobody is. I'm the best example of that. Okay. But he's got the right idea when it comes to getting this, the Department of Education out of our schools. Okay. Getting rid of it. And he's got a pretty good idea too, I think, when it comes to the flat tax. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I'm not going to worry about, all kinds of little petty things. All right. When it comes to an individual, they have petty things wrong with them. Everybody's got things wrong with them. Yeah. And even those people, that you try to put on a pedestal, that you think are perfect. I've seen some, and Bobby, get me right. Okay. Not wrong. Okay. You too would, Sylvester. All right. Okay. You guys, you're not perfect. Okay. You were not angels. All right. And yet, and I know, okay, I know you weren't angels. Okay. But I've seen some Bobby Sherman, sites, where, and things like that, put him up on such a high pedestal, that he can never be knocked over, and Bobby, and everybody that has any common sense knows. All right. None of us is perfect. Okay. All right. The best we can hope for is that, and practice is that we strive to be better people. Okay. And you really care about each other and our families and the neighbors. Okay. All the brotherhood of people. Okay. All right. And get rid of the bad stuff. That's what it means, when it says that, a true religion in the sight of God. Okay. Is to look after the widows and the orphans, right? The widows, the orphans, okay? Those who are really hurting, okay? And hang on, I'm almost done. Oh, you'll be going. Don't worry about it. Katie, you got to run? Okay. Give me a kiss, okay? Thank you for joining me. Huh?
Yep.
Okay. And say see you later to everybody before you go.
See you later, guys.
Move this stool out, please. I don't want to fall over it. So she's going to run down. She's going to see her boyfriend. Can you see if he can come back, please? to help us move a few things?
I don't think he can.
Not today?
Not today.
Okay,
But I'll
then.
see if he can next week.
We'll be gone out of here by then. Okay. All right. Well, have a good day, okay?
Yeah.
All right. Love you. Call me when you get there. Bring the phone. Yeah, it's about red time for me to quit, but oh, hang on one moment. This is just the way it is. And bring it back. Okay? One. She's 18. The law says you got to allow them, 18 of an adult in the state of Maine. If she wants a cigarette, I can't stop her. I tell her not to, but she, she don't listen to me. And I don't like to be a hypocrite either. We all have these little issues, right? Anyway, yeah, I don't remember what I was talking about. But, and I don't want to keep you all day either. But, Katie, honey, you're interrupting my train of thought. Thanks.
Mm-hmm. Thanks.
All right. We're all imperfect, okay? All right. And, so we got to get through life, and try to make some sense of it, okay? And try to do good by our families and other people. And, don't ever let on that you're perfect, okay? No matter who you are, right? My philosophy is that you need to be yourself so that people don't get the wrong impressions, okay, of who you are and what you stand for. And to be phony is not, where it's at. It doesn't help anyone. It doesn't improve your situation. Okay, you're out in life, right? If you really are that stuck up and you hurt it's just not good for humanity, let alone your own self, because it rubs off on everybody the wrong way, and nobody likes to be around a stuck up person. Yeah. So anyway, I love you guys. I know Katie does. She's just kind of like in a rush to go see her boyfriend. It's her day to go down there. So, and with that, I'm going to cut out of here myself. Okay. And we say prayers before we start these shows every time. Don't we, Katie?
Yep.
Yeah.
Where's the phone?
Oh, your phone?
Your phone. My phone doesn't have the material.
Oh, I don't know. I thought you had it.
I thought I did too.
Go hunt it down. We say prayers before these shows because we want to do our very best job to make sure that we're being honest and that we're going to have our wits about us, our brains are working, right? And we know that not everybody out there believes in God, okay? But that's our way, right? Okay. All right. And you have a great afternoon, everybody. It just hit about noon over here, okay, in the Great Northwoods. All right. And we hope that whoever you are, wherever you are, okay, and whatever you're doing today, that you do everything to the glory of God, okay, in your heart in the way that is, best suited to you, whether you believe God or not, because God knows. And he will acknowledge, okay, whether you believe in him or not, he still loves you, okay, and he'll bless you as long as you're a caring person who gives of yourself to help others. And keep yourself unspotted from the world, and all that means is stay away from the garbage, the dirt, the stuff that hurts people. God bless. From Hell That Evidence, me, Ethel Richard. Good afternoon.